This is Baratunde Thurston checking in from Ooster Park in East Amsterdam. That is Amsterdam Oost. I'm with Justin Krebs over here, Andrew Richey, and of course Kirsten, our
Hello.
very trustworthy guide to the unofficial but most important information about this city. So
Yes.
why don't you go ahead and take over from here and I'll just let the camera pick it up.
Okay, maybe you should first zoom in on that little sign right there.
Shared past.
Common future.
Right.
July 1st, 2002. This is the National Monument for the History of Slavery. It was opened on July 1st. That's no coincidence because July 1st is Ketikoti Day, which is Surinamese for break the chains. And on July 1st, 1863, slavery was officially abolished in the Dutch colonies in the west.
Okay.
It lasted a bit longer in the east,
Okay.
until 1910.
1910.
1910, and the last slaves were liberated in Indonesia.
Okay.
But that was local slavery and not transatlantic slavery.
Okay.
Actually slavery was abolished in 1863, but not until 1873 were slaves actually free because Dutch
Paperwork.
Yeah, no, they had to actually sign a contract that they had to stay on the plantation that they were previously owned by, because they were afraid that if they would all leave at one point,
Yeah.
that the economy would just be
Collapse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then there was something else. There was a compensation of 300 guilders per slave.
Okay.
And that was not for the slaves, but that was for the owner. So what you got was that in the years leading to the abolishment of slavery, that lots of slave owners would go out in the forests and try to find runaway slaves
To increase
their
bounty.
300 euros. Till today in Suriname, which was the biggest Dutch colony in the West, there were still, to today, there's still communities of runaway slaves that are called marons in the language of Suriname.
Yeah.
And they are still living in kind of tribal settings that actually preserve many of the customs and ways that of West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and they live actually together with the original inhabitants of Suriname.
Yeah.
This monument was made by an artist called Erwin de Vries.
Erwin de Vries.
Erwin de Vries sounds very Dutch.
Yeah.
But he was born in Paramaribo, capital of Suriname.
Okay.
Just for your information, there's more people from Paramaribo living in Amsterdam than there actually is people from Paramaribo in Paramaribo.
It sounds like a lot of places in the U.S. actually. I think
Yeah.
there's more Puerto Ricans in New York than in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico, more Dominicans
Yeah.
maybe than in
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. Yeah. Maybe.
And this monument was only erected 7 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, not even.
Yeah.
2002. Long overdue,
Yeah.
according to many, including myself. And even the opening of this monument was surrounded by scandal,
Okay.
because the Queen of the Netherlands, Queen Beatrix, actually was invited to perform the official ceremony
Right.
and cut the whatever it was, ribbon and there were big fences put up here around this monument.
Okay.
And the Surinamese and Antillean community of the Netherlands was kept out of this ceremony, and there were some officials who were invited, like representatives, members of parliament, but the people were kept out behind the fence, and many people took that as a sign that still Dutch government has so much to learn about what it actually means. Being humble and being honest about your own role and what has happened.
Okay.
And just another example is that actually last year or 2 years ago, our Prime Minister Balkenende was making a comment about the Dutch history and how we should actually be very proud of our VOC mentality, as he put it, with which he referred to the VOC, which was the Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, which was one of the biggest biggest slave trading companies at the time. And he didn't understand that people actually took offense. He saw that a company as a sign of entrepreneurial spirit and enterprise, and that is
which, in a perverse way, it is. But exploitation.
But as a prime minister, I think he should have borne in mind that some people would be very seriously offended by his way of putting things. And every day on the 1st of July, Katie Kotti Day, a big community of people gathers here around this monument and commemorates slavery and celebrates freedom. And that's also exactly what this monument symbolizes. So if you maybe walk around, you can see that it's slaves bound by ties, and then the struggle, the middle part symbolizes the struggle, and then freedom.
So it's like a transition.
Yes. Piece. And it also, if you see, it also has a form of a ship, which also is a reference to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and where are we?
We're standing in Oosterpark. The oldest park of Amsterdam that was made by the city of Amsterdam. This is a rather poor neighborhood of Amsterdam. It was originally working class, and it still is. And it's one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Amsterdam, with a large Surinamese population, Moroccan population, Turkish, and also some Amsterdam people that haven't left yet. And, it's a very dynamic neighborhood. Lots going on, and lots going on in this park as well. Lots of festivals. Maybe you can zoom in there. There's some people playing football. And it's very, very lively.
My last question has to do with the location of this monument in this park.
Yeah, most definitely. Very good question. So, Oosterpark is not Central Park, it's Oosterpark, meaning it's in the east. And actually, we're not in the middle of Oosterpark, we're standing in a corner of Oosterpark. And that actually symbolizes the place that slavery and Dutch slave trade and Dutch colonial history is taking in the whole debate, which is rather marginal. And I think there's quite a lot of people who would have liked this monument to be somewhere very central, such as the monument for the victims of the Second World War, for example, which is in front of the Royal Palace in the middle of the city, Dam Square. This monument is slightly off the beaten track, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of public attention. I think many people that you would ask here, for example, in this park, would not even know what this monument is for. So, and it's not a public holiday. Katie Kotti Day is only celebrated in Surinamese and Antillean communities, and maybe some people who are aware of what happened, but it's definitely not a public holiday. So I think there's still a lot to be done in that sense, and
are things being done to try to increase the profile, to change the curriculum, to have more national recognition?
Slowly, but a lot of the attention is now going to migration debates, which is an entirely different story. It deals with second and third generation migrant children, for example, from Turkey or Morocco, which also feeds back into the whole debate about Islam post 9/11. So that has taken up, and I think a lot of people are quite happy that has taken up most of the attention, so as not to look into exactly the darker pages of Dutch national history. And I just really hope that the next generation of teachers will be more aware of how important it is to really pass this knowledge along, because there's now generations of kids growing up who really have no idea what this monument stands for.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I will spread this far and wide.
Please do.
Again, we're in
Oosterpark. Is that all right?
Oosterpark.
Oosterpark, man. We're in Oosterpark. It's Baratunde and Kirsten trying to move this conversation more toward the center. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
All right.